Hey YouTube, it is Nebby, and welcome to the ultimate guide for Christmas noobs. If you've just picked up the game for Christmas, or you're just new to the game and you've just recently started playing it, even if you've got a bit of experience playing the game and you just want to learn something new, today we're going to be going through an ultimate overview and guide. Today I'm going to be covering progression, combat, and everything in between so that you guys can have the best Star Wars Battlefront 2 experience possible. Now before we get into the video, let me preface it by saying that Star Wars Battlefront 2 can be enjoyed as a casual player or as someone who plays it every day and really seriously. I myself play it once every 2 or 3 days, and I do play it pretty seriously when I do get the chance, so I sort of am a bit of a mix between the both, and I really enjoy playing this game. For new players, do expect to have to put a lot of time into the game at the start. It does require a lot of time to unlock everything, to unlock the heroes, to level up your characters and your classes. But I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a good thing for new players so that they can actually have proper time investment into the game, to learn it properly, and to really improve their game. So, without further ado, let's get into the ultimate guide for Christmas noobs and everyone else. So let's start off with progression. So, the main currency in Star Wars Battlefront 2 are credits. Credits are used to buy crates and to unlock heroes. We also have crystals, which are a much more rare currency, which can also be used to purchase crates. Now these were previously attainable by real money, but this has since been removed, so the only way to gain these is through challenges. And finally we have crafting parts, which are used to level up your heroes, your starfighters, and your classes. So these are the 3 currencies that you use to level up your characters in Star Wars Battlefront 2. The best way to earn these currencies are by doing challenges and by just playing the game and leveling up. So each time you level up, you'll earn a boost of credits, which contributes to you being able to buy more crates for your characters. Credits are also gained via in-game performance, so the longer a match goes and the better you do in that match, the more credits you will receive. I believe the most credits you can receive in one game is 660. However, there are plenty of challenges which you guys can do which will earn you a lot of rewards, including credits and crafting parts. As you guys can see, I still haven't completed all the challenges in this section. I've played the game quite a lot, I've played it since release, and I still haven't been able to complete all of these. So, I still have a lot of challenges to do, which I can continue to reap rewards from. Challenges can be very simple, such as just playing a single match of Starfighter Assault, and they can also be a grind, such as defeating 500 enemies as a hero. Now, doing these challenges will not only earn you crystals, crafting parts, and credits, but they can also unlock you crates, which will then in turn get you star cards and crafting parts to level up your heroes and your classes. There are challenges for the campaign, the arcade mode, and multiplayer modes, so that everyone has a wide range of options of getting these credits and these rewards. Also, since the launch of the first season, The Last Jedi season, there are new challenges coming out just about every single day, which you guys can earn rewards from. So even if you finished all of the initial challenges, there will be more rewards and challenges to come with each season. As you guys can see here, there are some challenges I haven't completed for The Last Jedi. Once you've got enough currency to purchase some crates, that's where you should head next. So there are actually 5 types of crates. So there's a trooper crate, a starfighter crate, a hero crate, but there are also daily crates which you can get from just logging in every single day. If you log in on a certain day, you'll get a crate for that day. These crates contain crafting parts and credits, and also the potential for a star card. And then there are also celebration crates which you can get for completing challenges for your faction within the seasons, and for your faction winning or losing a season. Out of the 3 basic crates, the hero crate is actually the cheapest crate, and in my opinion it is the best return on investment from your credits. Basically, the trooper crate costs you 4,000 credits, which is almost double what the hero crate will cost you. And this is because hero crates give you hero star cards, but they can also give you star cards for your classes, your starfighters, and everything else. Most importantly though, both of these crates give you crafting parts, which is the absolute crux of leveling up your characters. So the hero crate is more worthwhile because you spend almost half the credits, but you get the same amount of star cards. You have the potential to get hero star cards, trooper star cards, and starfighter star cards. But you also get the same amount of crafting parts, which is the absolute key to leveling up your characters. So I wouldn't waste your time on buying trooper crates, because by buying more hero crates you can actually get crafting parts, which you can then use to buy star cards and craft star cards for your classes, which means you don't have to spend $4,000 on trooper crates. Once you have enough crafting parts, you can then begin crafting star cards for your favourite classes and heroes. It costs 40 crafting parts to just craft a base level star card which you haven't unlocked yet, and then it jumps up to 80 to increase at another level, 120 for the next level, and then 480 to an epic level. Every time you craft or upgrade a star card for a specific class, that class's level will go up by 1 level. If you craft a card and upgrade it once, your class will go up 2 levels, and so on. And this is ultimately how you level up all of your characters in Star Wars Battlefront 2. In terms of star cards, there are actually 2 types of star cards. The first type of star card is the boost card. So the boost card is anything that will actually boost the way your class performs. So for example, on the Assault, the first boost card is called Assault Training, and this gives you a small amount of health for each defeated enemy. For each of the 4 base classes, there is also a boost card called Bounty Hunter, which gives you battle points at an increased rate, and I highly suggest using this because it is so helpful in getting your reinforcements and your heroes within the game. Every single playable unit within the game has boost cards, so this ranges from heroes, vehicles, reinforcements, and the 4 base classes. They all have boost cards for them. However, because heroes, reinforcements, and vehicles cannot actually change the abilities that they have, this means that they do not have any ability star cards, but classes do. So each class has different ability cards which you can use to upgrade or change out certain abilities within your loadout. So basically the way the class works is you were given a default set of abilities. For the Assault, it is the Thermal Detonator, the Vanguard, and the Scan Dart. However, these ability cards you can actually swap out for the certain abilities. So for example, the ability Toughen Up for the Assault actually replaces the Scan Dart, which is the right ability. The ability to actually change your abilities is exclusive to each of the 4 base classes and cannot be performed by heroes, vehicles, or reinforcements. So when making your classes, make sure to check out each of the ability cards because there may be something which you prefer over the base default abilities. Personally, I like to run a mix between boost cards and ability cards. I like to mix up some of the abilities so they fit my playstyle more, and then I also like to use the boost cards which help me in getting more battle points, more health, etc, etc. So make sure to look through all of these cards so that you guys can make the perfect loadout for yourself. I'll show you guys a screenshot of each of my 4 favorite loadouts for each of the classes. So this is my favorite Assault class. It gives me more health with Toughen Up and Assault Training, and I get increased battle points with Bounty Hunter. With the Heavy, I also like to use Bounty Hunter, but I also like to use Defender and Supercharged Sentry. This is my favorite loadout as the Officer. I get Improved Battle Command, which acts similarly to a back-to-bomb in Star Wars Battlefront 1. Basically, it gives you and your teammates more health for a certain period. I also like to use Disruption to stop enemies, and Bounty Hunter once again to get me more points. Here is my favorite loadout for the Specialist, which involves the Repulsor Cannon, the Personal Shield, and the Marksman boost card. Now each class has the option of using 4 different weapons. In my opinion for Assault, the best 2 guns are the A280 and the CR2. If you're a close quarters combat type of player, I would suggest going for the CR2, and if you're more of a long range to medium range, I would definitely suggest trying out the A280 because it is very powerful with its 3 burst mode. In terms of the Heavy, I would recommend the TL50 at short range and the DC-15LE at medium to long range. Both of these guns are pretty powerful, however the TL50 does have quite a lot of spread and recoil at long range, so I'd definitely recommend the DC-15LE for longer range fighting. For the Officer, I think the Blurg is hands down the best gun, probably the best gun in the game. It is extremely powerful once you get 2 of the mods, the reduced recoil and the improved burst. However, the Exploding Shot is also an extremely powerful mod for the gun. The SC-44C with rapid fire attachment is also extremely powerful. And the S5 is 2-shot kill with headshots, so that's a good one to keep in mind as well. For the Specialist, there are 2 standout guns, and these are the last 2 guns. So the NT-242 is the best gun in the game in terms of long-range sniping. So this gun gets 1-hit kills on other Specialists, and it gets 1-hit headshots on every single class, which no other sniper can do. In terms of medium to short-range combat, the A280C FE, I would definitely recommend, and this is because the A280 CFE has a much higher fire rate than all of the other snipers, and once you get the 3 burst mode for this gun, it is extremely powerful in medium to short range combat, and lets you fight against assaults and officers who are built for short range. If I had to rank the classes in order from best to worst, I would say Assault, Officer, Heavy, and then Specialist. Now that we've established everything about the classes, let's head over to the heroes. So when you first get the game, some heroes are locked and some heroes are unlocked. So I believe Boba Fett, Bosk, Han Solo, Kylo Ren, Darth Maul, Rey, and Yoda are all unlocked for you. Also, after The Last Jedi season, Finn and Phasma should be free and shouldn't have to be unlocked. The heroes who are locked are Chewbacca, Vader, Palpatine, Iden Versio, Lando Calrissian, Leia Organa, Luke Skywalker, and Tali Lintra, who is a Starfighter hero. Now these heroes can range from 5,000 credits to buy to I believe 20,000 for Luke and Vader, who are the most expensive ones. Now each hero plays very differently, and it's going to take a long time to explain how to play each, but I do have videos on hero abilities and secret tips for each hero, so make sure to check those out if you want to learn how to play each individual hero. And there are plenty of other guides out there on YouTube which show you how to play each individual hero, so I'm not going to go into that too much. But what I will do is rank each of the heroes in terms of the locked ones and the unlocked ones. So for the unlocked ones, I would definitely say that Bosk, Darth Maul, Rey, Yoda, and Finn are easily the best heroes that you get without having to buy. In terms of the locked ones, I would say that Palpatine, Darth Vader, and Leia Organa, and this is because these guys are extremely powerful in Galactic Assault. However, make sure you try out Chewbacca in Heroes and Villains. I'd probably put him 4th on the list. He is extremely powerful in Heroes and Villains, so I believe he's not too expensive as well, so make sure to try out Chewbacca if you get the chance in Heroes and Villains. So if you're trying to figure out who to get first, I would definitely recommend Vader, Palpatine, and Leia Organa. In terms of multiplayer game modes, we have 5 different modes which you guys can play. The main 2 modes are Galactic Assault and Starfighter Assault. Now these are the huge game modes. Galactic Assault is 20v20 and Starfighter is 12v12 with bots, so that it does feel like a much bigger space battle than it really is. Also, we have Heroes and Villains, Strike, and Blast. Now, if I had to summarize each of these game modes, I would say that Galactic Assault is the main game mode. It is the big game mode where you have heroes, you have reinforcements, you have vehicles, you have basically every possible thing that you can see in a game. So I would recommend this game mode for people who like to get immersed in fast-paced battles on huge maps. Also, if you like playing objective, this is one of the most heavily based objective modes, and it's also the only mode where you can test out heroes against regular troopers. Next up we have Starfighter Assault. Now this one's pretty self-explanatory. This is just starfighters. There are no ground heroes, no ground troopers. Everything is in a starfighter. And this is similar to Galactic Assault in that there are multiple objectives that teams have to focus on at the same time as they are killing enemies. Also, I definitely have to say that this is the most improved game mode from Star Wars Battlefront 1, and it is also the most immersive. I highly enjoy this game mode. I didn't really like flying in the last game, but I really enjoy Starfighter Assault. So I would definitely check it out, even if you're not that huge of a fan of flying. I'd definitely recommend trying out this game mode. It has some awesome battles and some awesome moments, so definitely check that one out. Heroes and Villains is also pretty self-explanatory. This is the one where you only have heroes and you only have villains. There are no troopers, no starfighters. This is where you can just test your heroes against other heroes. So if you've been leveling up your heroes and you want to try them out, you can definitely go into Heroes and Villains and get heroes straight away without having to worry about earning them with in-game battle points. Next up we have Strike, which is a much smaller game mode. There are only 8 players on each team, and this is also objective based. So there will be usually only one objective that you have to target. And this is also quite a fast-paced game, where teamwork is the most important thing of all. The last game mode is Blast, and I would highly recommend this to all the newer players who are just learning to play a first-person shooter. Because Blast is just focused on killing, so you don't have to worry about the objectives, you don't have to worry about heroes and everything else going on. This is pure infantry versus infantry combat. And it's extremely good for experience and learning how to play the game because it's just focused on killing. So once you learn how to kill and how to aim and do all those basics, then you can start moving into the bigger game modes and you'll do much better in those game modes after having some Blast experience. Now I'm going to go more in depth on Galactic Assault and Starfighter Assault because I believe these require the most explanation, and these are the 2 most popular modes besides Heroes and Villains. And I want to give you guys a few tips on the best way to play these modes, the best way to succeed in these modes and to earn lots of battle points and credits doing so. So basically, in both modes, we have objectives and points of interest. Now, usually these overlap. Usually the objectives are the high traffic areas, especially in Starfighter Assault, because it is pretty open with a few ships in the center and the whole mass of the map being mainly in the center. Usually the point of interest in Starfighter Assault are the objectives. So when playing a Starfighter Assault, I would definitely recommend going over towards the objectives, and not only because objectives get you more points, but because there is high traffic of players, we can get more points by getting kills. However, in Galactic Assault, the point of interest are objectives, and there are also other areas. So for example, when playing Yavin 4 as the Rebels, these 2 staircases are extremely high traffic areas because enemies can run from both sides. So they can run up the staircase and they can run from behind you in these inside little temple corridors and staircases. So that's just one example of a high point of interest in Galactic Assault. We also have ones such as the big doors on the Death Star in the first phase where the Rebels run out of their spawn. the middle platform on Camino in the second phase. Also, any objectives that can move, such as the Iron Disruptors in Galactic Assault. So these can move on maps such as Hoth and Theed, which have Iron Disruptors. They do move, so make sure to keep an eye out for where these are, because these will be high points of interest where enemies are trying to come to play the objective. Now, controlling these points of interest are very important for map control, and basically who has control of the game. So if you control these points of interest, you're most likely going to be controlling the way the game is dictated, because it means you can get more battle points and you can dictate to the other team where they must go, and changes their course of thinking and action. So it's very useful for your team, and it's also very useful for gaining battle points. Now, speaking of battle points, there are a number of ways you guys can earn lots of battle points in these two game modes. And the first way is pretty obvious, it's by playing the objective. So in Galactic Assault, for example, you can get 500 points for picking up an Iron Disruptor and 1000 for actually hitting the MTT or the AT-AT with these Iron Disruptors. So straight away, that's 1500 points by just playing the objective. In Starfighter Assault, the objective is equally important. You can get lots and lots of points by just shooting and destroying objectives. So I would definitely recommend that to you guys. As important as kills are to help your team, also definitely try and play the objectives. And the more you play objectives, the more you're going to be running into enemies to get more points and more kills and etc. The next way to get points I would recommend is more specific to Galactic Assault, and this is by using reinforcements. So reinforcements can range from 200 battle points, such as speeder bikes, and up to 8,000 points, such as the most expensive heroes which are out of their specific era. Heroes have actually been changed to a point where they don't earn many battle points when you use them, and this is to prevent hero stacking. So keep this in mind. If you are playing as a hero, you won't earn as many points per action, per kill, per objective played as you would playing as a normal class or as another reinforcement. So every other reinforcement still gets plenty of points. For example, you can spend 200 battle points on a speeder bike and you can get much more than that back, and then repeat that process by stacking them. So I don't know if this is meant to be the way it is, but it is currently. So you can stack lots of vehicles and reinforcements. If you do well enough with them, you can actually stack them and earn yourself more battle points as the game progresses. I would say the biggest example of this is ATSTs, which only cost 2,500 battle points, but can earn you at least 5,000 points. I would say 5,000 points is a pretty average life in an ATST, which is actually double what you spent. So you're earning 5,000 points, which can then buy you 2 ATSTs in a row. And these are stackable because as soon as you die in one, you can purchase one straight away, which I think is a bit broken, but it is the current state of the game, and it is possible to do this. So using ATSTs, using the speeders on crate as well, can earn you many battle points. So make sure that you use reinforcements to the best of your ability, guys. Make sure that you use them to earn more battle points so that you can play as heroes, etc. Finally, we have actual combat tips. So these are pretty simple, basic movements in any first-person shooter or Starfighter game. Basically, when you're on the ground as a trooper in Galactic Assault, you want to be moving as much as possible, and this is because Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a very fast-paced game. So the maps usually tend to be closer quarters, not as spread out as games such as Battlefield, and for this reason, you don't want to be standing still or staying in one region for too long. Of course, you can stay in one area to protect an objective or hold enemies away from a certain spot, but you don't want to be sitting in the same spot the whole game, and this is because the game is moving. People are moving different areas. You always want to be in the hottest areas where enemies will be. And also it's because the game is so fast paced that you're going to usually have lots of enemies who can see you at any point and also shoot at you. So basically when you're in combat, you want to make sure you're rolling, make sure to use the roll mechanic, make sure to jump, and make sure to strafe back and forth when shooting, because there's nothing easy to kill than a still target. Someone who stands there and shoots and does not move at all is the easiest sitting duck to kill. So I would definitely recommend to all you new players, make sure you're moving when you're shooting, move back and forth. Usually the most traditional way to do it is to just click left and right on your joystick to move slightly side to side and sort of just avoid lots of those shots. So that's the way a lot of competitive players do it, and a lot of the better players move when they're shooting and in combat. In terms of Starfighter, I would definitely use the barrel roll ability. Make sure you're weaving in between cover. Make sure you're moving side to side a lot. Do not fly straight, because once again, you're going to be the sitting duck. You're going to be easy to kill. So make sure you're constantly in motion with Starfighters, moving back and forth, going up and down, doing side to side. Everything that you can think of to shake enemies. Basically, think when you're trying to shoot someone, what is the worst thing that they could do to throw me off my aim? You have to be that person to the person who's trying to shoot at you. So if someone's trying to shoot at you, go left and right, use speed boosts, go as fast as you can, but also try to make sure that you're not smashing into things, because that is very frustrating in Starfighter Assault. I crash a lot, but I also play very fast paced and try to do lots of crazy maneuvers. As you guys will see in this clip, I'm playing on Takedana in Galactic Assault on what many people call the impossible objective. And here I'm using literally Vanguard to move fast. I'm using the jump, I'm using the roll, and I'm strafing side to side. And I survive the whole time before we even capture the objective. I don't die and we capture the objective before I'm even dead. So it was a pretty good first life, but this is probably the perfect example of using movement to my advantage in Star Wars Battlefront 2, especially in ground combat. So make sure to keep that one in mind for when you're playing. And just don't be a sitting duck. Now that's basically the most broad overview that I can give you guys. I tried to go more in depth for certain areas such as the classes and the best star cards and the best guns, but I believe that's sort of like the basic tools that you need to start playing Battlefront 2 and to start succeeding. That's the starter kit, so to speak. I have some more in-depth tips on heroes and the regular classes on my channel, so make sure to check those ones out if you're looking for more in-depth tips with each of the classes and the best ways to play them. But yeah, that's going to be it for me today, guys. That was the ultimate guide for Christmas, noobs. If you enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button. If you learned anything new, make sure to smash the like button. And yeah, I'm going to bounce. I hope everyone has a great new year, and I'll see all of you in the next video.